In this video today, we will be looking at a crash course in D5 Renderer. This won't be all the information about D5, but it will be the core skills to get you ready to start your rendering process. We'll be going through how I made certain elements of this render come together. It won't be the whole render, but how particular parts of it you can apply materials, add models, and create the atmosphere for the renderer. You can log in and claim your student account where you can get all the pro features. If you're not though, you can just simply start for free and then it will start downloading here. You can simply just follow the prompts. It is already downloaded on my computer, but if you follow the prompts it will download on yours as well. We're going to use show you how to use D5 in Rhino. So first we can look by installing. So you will have to install D5, but then you also have to install a plugin into Rhino that will allow you to open D5 in Rhino. So we will start by doing that now. So D5 plugin for Rhino. And there we go, it will be the first one, and then you download D5 Live Sync for Rhino. And then you just click on it, and then you can open the download. You then just click the first one, and then yes, and then it's the live sync. So now that we've installed the live sync for D5, we'll be able to do that as well. So we can then simply start D5. No. So it'll just take a little bit to open up, and then I will run through the interface of D5 for you. I created in D5, and for this part I will be running you through how we make these and the interface of D5 as well. Grass. There is also elements of scatter, so I will show you what that means. That will be a different way of showing grass, as well as adding different types of plants, and you can add lights and also setting scenes. So we will go through that in this video. Scenes are really helpful If you see a view that you like, you can save it and build into that, just like we've done here. And that means you're constantly going back to it. You can save different types of scenes. You can see here the sun shifted. So within the scene, it does save all of your settings. Here there is sunlight intensity. And you can change the altitude, so showing where the sun would be as well. So there's a whole bunch of different things in D5 that help to create a scene like this. And you can also see other scenes that we've created. They are all here. So to save a scene, you simply can maneuver around in D5. If you want to go a bit higher, if you want to orbit around, you can. Coming a bit closer in. Say if we wanted an angle like this, focusing on the areas over here, you would then leave the scene as is. You can play around with the sun and how that hits. Maybe you want it at different times of the day, like this is lunchtime. You can look at how it works at night, things like that. And then once you save the sun, you can then hit add scene, and it will add another scene for you. If you right click, you can rename it. So you can say different view. For this, it would be looking from building. Just as you enter, that is the site context. And there you go. You can save that, so you can then flick between scenes whenever you'd like, and then keep going back and building them. So that is really useful. Elements that were created in this scene, I'll show you how we did them. I'll just flip back to here, and so things like plants and foliage, there is now an assets toolbar. So this gives you everything you would need for the scene. There is model, so this refers to things like plants. There's a whole different types. You can pick succulents, crops. There's also stones and different types of other garden accessories that you can add in. They do just take a little bit to load, but they are all there. And then characters, this is really important. So this is the people that you can use in D5. It is categorized down the side, or you can just flick through. For this scene, I predominantly used the casual people, because we wanted them to represent school students. And then if it has a green tick, that means that is already downloaded. If it isn't, then you simply just click and it will download the asset for you. But then to place something like a character, you can just click on the woman. It may just take a bit to load, but there you go. You can see her there coming into the scene. We can pop her on this seat. And then they are 3D as well, so that you can spin them around to what angle you desire. There we go. There's things like size here on the side, not too relevant for people, but really helpful when you're putting down plants and stuff like that. And you can also move them side to side using location, so back and forward using their X, Y, and Z. This is the same for the plants as well. So I'll show you how you can scale a tree and pop that in. So using nature, there's a whole bunch you can select from. I should also mention there's a recents tab. So things that you've already used in the scene will start to pop up here. So if you need to go back to them, click on them just like putting people, and then you can place them anywhere within the scene. So we're just going to pop it here just to show you how it works. And then size once again. So at the moment it is all linked, the X, Y, and Z. So you'll be scaling it up within ratio. And all you simply do is hover your mouse over the X, the Y, or the Z and rotate your mouse left to right, and this will go up and down. You can see the figures changing there, or you can simply type in the dimensions if there's a particular one you would like. But if you unclick here on size, it allows you to change the dimensions of each axis individually. So say you want it taller but not wider, you can play around with the Z axis. And then the Y, if you want it wider in a certain direction. So that's how you can do it. You can also rotate. If